Hey everybody, it's me, Jay Light, here just to let you know there was a audio issue that I didn't recognize when I was recording this episode. Apparently, I had a problem with my mixer. Things you learn as you do stuff in person again, and maybe something doesn't go right with recording the audio. So the first couple... It's really not that long. It's like the first minute of the episode. It's going to sound a little weird and fuzzy because it's camera audio, but the rest of it's going to sound nice and crisp and clear. And I really hope you enjoy it. So please enjoy today's episode with Dave Ross talking about the Many Saints of Newark. Hey, it's a fucking bad movie over here.
Let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Hey everybody, welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate movies. I'm your host, Jay Light. Joining me today in the living room, it's my friend Dave Ross.
Hey buddy.
Hey, it's so good to see you. Dave and I have been talking for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's been great.
Yeah, we had a long talk about comedy. Turns out that if you don't talk much for like a year and a half, you got stuff to say.
There's a lot that just spills out of you like a waterfall.
Especially if you both care about the same thing. I think that's really what it is.
I think we both, the thing we boiled down to, for those of you who care, it's we both don't want to be just another white guy with glasses. The best advice anyone ever gave me.
Wow, that's funny. I guess that is what it is.
That's
not real. We didn't say that once, but that's totally what it is.
That's all it is.
You don't want to be... You don't just want to be a fucking another comedian in the sea of comedians. Yeah, exactly.
They said, I was told once in an improv class, do you want to be another white guy in a flannel shirt with glasses? And I was like, I don't.
Absolutely.
And I burned all my flannel shirts after
that. I think about it all the time. Like, in a world that is just dominated by that demographic, that like as much as I think I'm interesting and special, and I've had a life. You can't get away from the fact that my perspective is just informed by those things. It just is.
Yeah.
So what? Good Lord, what can I do to separate myself? Please.
You could make a movie like The Many Saints of Newark.
Oh,
that'll set you
apart.
apart.
What a segue. Segues like that is what'll fucking set you apart. I guess it would. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. I want to say right up top that like I fucking hated that movie. I hated this movie.
Okay.
And we were going to be doing The Green Knight, which I also hated.
Yeah.
And I just want to say I don't really hate movies. I hated 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Mm-hmm. But before that, I had never really hated a movie.
Yeah, you said you don't really hate movies. It was tough for you to come up with one.
Like I love that movie Congo. I've seen that.
What is Congo?
It's a Michael Crichton book that wasn't Jurassic Park that people didn't really like. It was a movie about like a talking gorilla that they tried to take home to a place where there's like special diamonds. It's like a bad movie, you know. Okay. It's like not a good movie.
Okay,
it's not shot well. It's not.
So it's like what happens when you take a mid-tier airport novel and turn it into.
That is 100% what it is. It's like, remember how every John Grisham book got a movie for a while?
Yeah,
and actually, a lot of them were pretty good movies. Like at least that had money put into them and had like good actors in them.
Yeah.
But like over time, it was like, oh wow, so this one's a lawyer, for the ocean. Okay,
right. It's like if you turned a Sue Grafton novel into a movie.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about Kinsey
Clyde
Millhone.
Cussler, fucking Dean Koontz,
Dean fucking
Tom Clancy.
Koontz.
It's like how they made a Without Remorse movie. Mm-hmm. Something no one asked for. But anyway,
they've got multiple Jack Reacher franchises now.
Man.
It's crazy.
They
made video games that are Tom Clancy video games.
Right. Now Tom Clancy is now dead and they still make Tom Clancy books. Uh-huh. It's like my dad was in the Navy my whole life.
And
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
My dad was a Navy guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does your dad love Tom Clancy?
Yes, he does.
Dude, isn't that
Tom
so
Clancy
funny?
and Bill O'Reilly books.
Oh.
Those are the only kinds of things he reads.
Luckily, my father is not a Bill O'Reilly man. He's another type of annoying. He loves MSNBC, which is
the whole flip side.
Yeah, which I also find tough to watch nowadays. But anyway, just like, you know why? Just like when you watch MSNBC, isn't it so funny? It's these people that are in their 40s or 50s, and they're like, "Can you believe these Republicans? They're trying to steal an election." And it's like, yeah. Like, what? Wait, did you not know that they always do that? Like, we should definitely try to stop them and fuck them for doing it.
Right.
But like, my parents and everyone at NBC is like pulling their hair out, like, "Oh, I can't believe it." Why can't you believe it? They've been doing it.
They've been doing
They
it
keep
for
doing
years.
it. They keep doing the same thing, and you're like, "Oh, you got me again."
They're running the same play out of the playbook.
Over, and it keeps working because you keep just chasing the laser pointer.
Yeah.
That's like what the Democrats do. They're like, they're not gonna do it this time. Anyway, that's just fucking anyway.
Speaking of MSN, Many Saints of Newark,
Woo!
B crap,
Nice,
BC.
dude.
That's what I did.
Crazy.
Double segue.
But yeah, I don't hate movies, and this movie like really hit me. And the other two I thought were just like people trying to be art nerds, and they failed. This one was really frustrating. Like especially because I love The Sopranos, and I think The Sopranos was one of the best made TV shows of all time.
What's your relationship to The Sopranos like? Have you watched it again recently?
I've seen the whole show twice.
Okay.
I didn't see it when it came out. I don't think I had HBO until like 5 or 6 years ago, but in the past 6 years, I've watched the entirety of the show 2 times.
I think that's a good, noble effort.
Yeah, thank you.
I just
Have you
watched,
seen the whole thing?
just watched it. I literally finished the first time I'd ever watched it about end of August.
Okay.
Like right around my birthday.
Did you like it?
I did. I
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
it. I do think it is probably one of, if not the best television shows of all time.
Truly.
I agree. It hits
And
all the boxes.
Man, I love the ending.
Mm-hmm.
And
God, I
have
love
you
the ending so
Have you
much.
you should Google articles about the ending.
Oh.
And read ones that came out when it aired.
Oh, I have.
Oh, you have? Good.
Oh,
It's awesome, isn't
yeah.
it? People were like, "Hey, fuck you." People were like
They got
so
so
mad. Which is a way to be, what I'm about to say is ironic because I'm so angry about this movie, but to get like viscerally mad about a thing you like, it is ironic because I hate this movie, and so I'm just being a hypocrite. But I just was like, you didn't like the ending of the show you like. Why didn't you just explore the possibility that maybe the guy had an idea that he was trying to execute in this piece of art you enjoy?
Right.
But instead, just like how when Star Wars does something that the fans don't perceive as being part of canon, they're like, "I'm not watching it." It's like, you're not going to watch the thing you like? That's crazy.
It's a really silly way to approach
Yeah.
a thing that you like. If you think on a baseline, like having watched The Sopranos, I was excited to see Many Saints of Newark.
Yes,
I
yes.
watched it opening weekend. And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I watched with a buddy of mine, and I told you this via text. I didn't hate it, but I do have some thoughts, and I have some problems with it.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that for a movie that is so clearly not just supposed to be for Sopranos fans,
Yes.
it feels like there's no way a non-Sopranos fan could like it or could watch it and like it.
There's no context included in the movie for any characters at all. It is really unbelievable. And I'll say though, that's not why I hate it. I dislike that. But kind of to the thing I was just saying, like, someone makes a thing, I don't like it, that sucks. But look, we all make shitty stuff.
Yeah.
We all fucking take shots and miss all the time.
Yeah.
That's fine. And I would love to talk about that stuff. But here's the thing that makes me hate it. The thing that makes me fucking hate it is the same thing that I hate about The Green Knight and 3 Billboards, which is that, like, there's something about Hollywood. There's something about the idea of liking art that makes people want to fuck with people that are not fans of art.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean not fans of art, but not like active fans of art. There's like active and passive fans of art. Most people are passive fans of art, music, film, whatever. They watch what comes their way and they enjoy it without analyzing why.
They read
enjoy
the
it.
book that Oprah tells them to read or whatever.
Yeah, and that's a great way to live.
Yeah.
Your priorities are different than mine. I happen to be so engaged with this shit that I care a lot, I think about it a lot, and I'm involved in the industry and stuff. And a lot of people in the industry seem to think that if they're making something that they consider to be special, that like they need to kind of fuck with you about it. And I just like really, I don't like people who talk down to other people. I don't like people that think they're better than people. And I think that those first two movies I said think they're better than people. And I don't think this movie thinks it's better than people, but I think the ending does. The ending, when it was like, dude, can we give spoilers?
We can spoil.
Okay.
Let's spoil the ending of this movie.
Literally what happens at the end of this movie is a child pinky swears a dead body and then there's no third act. That's what happens. There's act 1, act 2, dead body pinky swear, theme song of a TV show that's not in the movie,
Right.
and then credits. And it's like,
And this is after 2
What?
hours, by the way.
so this guy who made the movie, literally, I can see him in the editing bay being like, so many people are gonna want to suck my dick when they see this. And if you have that thought, if it's not that you're trying to make a good thing, because I feel like the choice at the end of The Sopranos, the show, was like brave. It was like smart and cool and different, and making it was like a gamble,
Right.
Obviously,
because it's so I mean, you can tell that based on the reaction to that ending.
Yes.
It was so polarizing.
yes,
Everybody was like, "What the fuck?
What the
is
fuck?"
this?" And there were a couple
And
people
it
who were like,
hit
"This
you-
is brilliant." But
yeah, so rare. I loved it, and I got like mad. Like I felt I got mad in the sense that I felt like something was ripped away from
I
me.
felt such a sense of loss
Yeah,
watching
like
that ending.
I wasn't even given. But then after a day or two, I was like, well, that's what happens when someone dies.
yeah.
And over time, I like love it more and more and more and more. And I really just think it's so. You never actually. Have you seen Gus Van Sant's Last Days?
No, never.
I can't recommend watching it for a good reason.
Okay.
The movie is about Kurt Cobain, except they don't call him Kurt Cobain, and it's not like historically accurate. But this Kurt Cobain character is in this house, and he's like alone and sad,
Okay.
leading up to taking his own life.
Right.
And I left the theater depressed and sad for like 4 days. And it occurred to me that I think the goal of the movie was to make you feel how Kurt felt before he killed himself.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Yeah, it seems like the type of
Movies
shit that Gus Van Sant would do.
That definitely seems like that's the way I felt like watching Elephant. You ever seen
never saw
Elephant?
Elephant, no.
Elephant. I mean, it's a Columbine, but not really Columbine, but
Right.
Columbine, right? And
Maybe I did.
I watched that, and I was just like, ah,
Right. Like you put the darkness in
and
my mind.
I
You did.
chose to do that to myself as
Right.
the viewer of that movie. But there are ways that, like, I think that it can be done in such a way as a filmmaker or as a musician, a writer, whatever. I think there are ways that you can do that and bring your audience to a place where
Yeah.
they have those feelings and it still be like net enjoyable
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gus Van Sant's Last Days is an incredible movie. I
Right.
say don't watch it because it made me sad, but I don't really mean that. I just wouldn't watch it again. I'm glad I saw it.
That's the way I feel about The
Yeah.
Father. You see The Father?
No,
Oh,
but I've
dude.
heard this about the father.
It's one of those. It's like The Father. I feel this way about. It sounds like you feel this way about Last Days, and I feel this way about. Oh God, what's the fucking Requiem for a Dream?
Oh, dude,
Where-
same.
Where it's a great movie. You can tell it's
So
well
well
crafted,
made.
but you can't watch it again
Totally.
because of the way you
I
just.
feel like that's a real success as a creator. Like,
Yeah.
I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
I completed it. That's what I would love people to feel like they did with stuff of mine. I guess that's not necessarily true because comedy is like Like it's never going to be that. It's
No.
never going to be like
Comedy, you want people to be insatiable.
yeah, totally. But you know what I mean? Like I
But
want
I know,
people
yeah.
to feel like they really engaged with it.
Mhm.
And yeah, in that way, I think that's similar to the end of The Sopranos. Like bringing me to a place. Like I very rarely, so often I watch stuff and I really enjoy it, but I very rarely watch something and it hits me.
Mhm.
And that moment, I was like, oh, like I felt like a really surprising emotion. And
Yeah, me too. I think it's like this movie had so much to live up to because of because of that thing.
and that's also important to remember when you're talking shit about it, obviously.
Right.
Because like I said, I mean, look, the guy took a shot and he missed is how I really feel. But I just have like a beef. Dude, Pinky swearing a dead body and then the fucking credits. I just like
roll over the theme song.
maybe it's broader. Maybe I just don't like it when people think they're cool. I just kind of am like, I want people to be earnest and genuine, and being cool to me is being nice. And like, so much of the world is like, I don't give a fuck about you. And like, fuck that. And Pinky's wearing a dead body honestly could even be cool, but then like, woke up this morning. It's just like, come on, man.
What are some of the other things like that you hated in this movie? Because there was a lot of stuff like, I agree, there's a lot of stuff like that feels not Sopranos-y.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Well, okay, so at a basic level, there's like a thing, and I'd be interested to know if you feel this way. Not everybody does. I've like talked to some people about it, but there's like we're in the era of like a new type of TV movie, right? Where the streaming services are now like making exclusive movies that don't ever hit the theaters.
Right.
And a lot of those movies, specifically Netflix movies, it's mostly when Netflix makes a movie, I would include like Da 5 Bloods. And then also, I feel like every director got a Netflix movie. There was like Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yep.
Da 5 Bloods. And then like
The Irishman.
The Irishman, right.
Yeah.
And then there was a fucking Michael Bay movie.
Yeah. a couple Michael Bay movies, I think.
Oh, really?
He did the one... I know he had the one, oh, fuck, what was it called? It was some Michael
Laser
Bay.
Car or whatever, yeah.
Explosion Doctor or some
Right.
bullshit like
the one
that.
that Post Malone is in the trailer.
Yeah.
And he's just like, is that your car? Or whatever.
But
hey,
it's-
man, you gotta
hey.
slow down or whatever.
That's my ride, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The like hot, famous high guy.
Where'd you get that grenade from, man?
Whoa, yeah. Damn, that's a cool pussy.
Michael Bay tagline.
Your
if
wife
ever
has
I've
a
heard
cool
one.
pussy. You know? That's a man, Post Malone. If you're listening, I wanna write that into a movie for you one day.
That's
Please,
going to win
God.
Record of the Year or Best Adapted Screenplay. This is going to be the original. This is where we get that origin story from.
Your wife has a cool pussy, man. But yeah, it's strange to me because obviously those directors are all different, and it's not like Netflix has the same gaffer they make everybody use or whatever.
Right.
But all of these made for streaming services movies share a look. They share like the costuming and the makeup and the lighting and the set deck all combined look just a little cheap. And especially the period pieces. It's just shocking to me because they have all the money.
Right.
And these people make stuff that is like very believable.
Yeah.
And not the TV shows are not like this. TV shows are like, I mean, some of them are.
Some of them certainly are, but not all of them. I would
not all
say
of them.
I'd say there are more hits than misses on the TV show side compared to the movie side.
Like Peaky Blinders, for example, is a Netflix show. I know it wasn't always, but it's like very well shot and made and well lit and costumed and made up, and it's a Netflix original.
Yeah.
But then Netflix makes a movie about the same era, and it just looks like everybody's wearing a fake mustache, and I don't know why. Like why is in this movie? Why does everybody's sideburns look fake? I don't understand why that is. You know, another movie was like that, and it's a movie I loved that a lot of my friends fucking hated. Was the Aaron Sorkin Netflix movie?
The Trial of the Chicago 7.
yeah.
I never saw that.
Oh my god, I love Aaron Sorkin. I'm like such a Aaron Sorkin nerd, but I have a lot of friends who are like, "Fuck that movie," and the reason is what I'm talking about. it like looks weird and it's like not real. It's not historically accurate at all.
I've heard that. Yeah.
It's like really crazy the shit they made up. they like made up really dramatic things that Abby Hoffman said. It's kind of ridiculous, but I really enjoyed it. But yeah, so there's that basic level like Netflix movie kind of like hacky looking thing.
Yeah.
The other and then it's just sort of like the if you don't even get into the Sopranos world yet, the fact that they didn't like make me care about the characters. They didn't like, and it was because of the Sopranos, right? Like it's a movie that's supposed to show me the formation of Tony Soprano, but Tony's not the star of the movie. It's Dickie Moltisanti.
Right.
And so like they are focusing my empathy on Tony, but then all of the action is done by Dickie.
Right.
And it's just weird. Like, I don't care about this guy. And they don't even take steps to make you care about him.
And there's all of this stuff. Like, I think there's a lot of parallels that as people who've watched The Sopranos, we are meant to draw.
Right.
As like you're watching, you know, you see parallels between Tony and Dickie, right? Or you see parallels between Carmela and, oh my God, Livia, his mom. Yeah. I almost just called her Vera Farmiga.
She was dope,
She was
though,
great.
Huh? She was so good.
I think the casting was really good. Like largely, I think the casting was good. I think there's a lot of
Ray Liotta was great.
Yeah. Ray Liotta playing twins.
See, that's another funny, like,
I love it.
Dickie Moltisanti's dad has an identical twin and
Who's
no
in
one
jail?
talks about
Who
this.
listens to jazz?
Like, it's just very, and I don't understand why Dickie, like,
Nobody understands why Dickie.
Yeah. Why him at all?
Why him?
Also, the movie opens with voiceover from Chris Moltisanti, who's not in the movie, who I guess is a baby in the movie.
He's a baby. They show his grave at one point. Like they pan past at the very beginning, but it's hard to tell, and you can't really hear the voiceover at that point. Did you have audio problems when you watched this movie, by the way?
No.
I watched it. There was problems with the fucking audio mix.
Oh, really?
There were scenes.
I've heard this happens with HBO Max, actually, with different shit. There's
Wait, really?
Yeah. There was something else. Oh, yeah.
I know.
Oh, wait, no, not HBO Max.
I know there's a famous Game of Thrones problem where they had the lighting and the color correction was off on that one episode. I was never a Game of Thrones guy, but I remember that being a big fucking to-do the last season.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was an episode where like it was, I guess it was the final scene, like a very climactic scene where somebody dies or gets murdered and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was so dark you couldn't see what was going on.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember this.
It was just like everybody was complaining about it.
Right.
But I was watching Many Saints of Newark on Friday night, and there was audio problems where like it sounded like they didn't fix the fucking ADR right, or like they didn't mic somebody properly, and it just sounded weird and scratchy, and I was like, totally took me out.
Interesting.
It's like, how do you allow this to happen at such a high, where it's like such a high level release, high profile?
Right.
Everybody's going to be trying to watch this movie. Anyway, it boggles my mind.
I felt very similarly about The Irishman, too. I was just like, this just feels like a poorly made Martin Scorsese movie.
Uh-huh.
And when it was nominated, I was like, do I not understand what's happening? But yeah.
We're really not going to understand what's happening if Many Saints of Newark gets nominated.
Dude.
I will be shocked if it gets nominated for anything.
The Green Knight got nominated for a bunch of shit, right? Oh, no, it just has like a really high Rotten Tomatoes.
Green Knight is inexplicably critically acclaimed. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Having watched it.
It's really bizarre. And what's fucked up about that movie, too, is that I'm on board for a weird fucking exploration of what a film can be.
Yeah, sure.
I'm down for it to be random.
Mm-hmm.
I love Herzog, but it was just like, did you see season 2 of True Detective?
Yes, I did.
Similarly to that, it felt like this guy really wants this to be art.
Yeah.
And it was also funny because they made like weird, shitty choices. Like, it's such a beautifully shot movie. First of all, I forget the name of the lead. All the actors.
Oh, Dev Patel.
Yeah, he's incredible. And the way the Green Knight is shot, like the the DP of that movie is incredible.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And so whatever. It was fun to watch. But like why were the giants really shitty CGI?
Who knows?
Like, how could they not afford better CGI? It had to be a choice. I don't. Anyway, so yeah, Many Saints of Newark is why that was related to something I was thinking about Many Saints of Newark, and I don't remember what it was.
We were also talking about like stuff being good, but like there's so much that we're supposed to feel empathy or care about, especially with the story of like Dickie and the sort of parallels that we see that we just don't really ever fully click, because I think that we don't spend enough time with Tony in a way that makes that meaningful, other than you having to do your own research and be like, well, I guess that, Dickie and the Gumar, it's like Tony and his Gumars and all this stuff. And like, they're both like, they didn't treat their wives with respect and shit. But like, I don't want to be like digging through and watching the movie again to find out all these Easter eggs. Right. I didn't feel compelled to watch
There were a ton of Easter eggs.
Of course.
And those were fun as a fan. But yeah, like they could have, you know what would have been a cool movie? Would have been a movie just about Dickie Moltisanti with these little Easter eggs, but just like told a story about him.
Yeah.
Instead of this, like, it was sort of half-assed where they just like didn't tell me about him. They didn't make me like him. They just made him this like guy. He's sort of a background character, and then all of a sudden he's the only one in the movie.
Yeah,
they like treated him like a side character, but he's most of the scenes.
It becomes like a weird ensemble to just focusing on him narrative.
Right,
it's very strange.
Yes, especially when like, I mean, The Sopranos is it. I would say works almost only because of how intensely you are made to sympathize with Tony.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because Tony is a mass murderer who cheats on his wife and treats everybody like shit and like barely cares about his kids, is just like a objectively bad person.
Yes.
And the show's so good, and they're so good at making you care about him, that it took 3 seasons before I realized that. And then I, even though I loved it, I spent the second 3 seasons, like the second half of the show, just like sad. Just every time I watched it, I was like, I can't stop watching this, but all these people are just like murderers, and I'm so sad watching them have problems
and break each other's spirits and emotional, and drag them to the emotional depths.
Yes, exactly.
All the time.
So like, yeah, you would just think that they would know that you like, for somebody who is like, because it's not just a murderer. Like you can sympathize with people who murder. You can sympathize with people who do anything. But these are people who like aggressively and intentionally, repeatedly hurt other people for personal gain and never manage their own demons and constantly take them out on other people.
Right.
And so like, yeah, like send that guy to therapy. And then all of a sudden you start seeing why this person is this. And you start imagining what it would be like to come up in that environment and stuff like that. And it's like very interesting. But if you don't do that, then I'm just watching a guy beat his dad to death with a steering wheel.
Because he wanted to fuck his stepmom.
And I'm like, I don't like this guy.
And also yell at his nephew who wanted to play basketball with him after he murdered his dad on a steering wheel.
Yeah. And then who like goes in order to atone for this, like coaches blind people playing baseball. It's like, what? That was
they were blind? Did I miss that?
Yeah, he coached a blind baseball
I thought he was just coaching a baseball. I didn't realize they were blind.
They were blind. It was like this
my God.
This weird, like, and obviously I think that's awesome to do, but nothing else like that happens in the movie. And it's just like this weird scene with like string music playing, and it's all about what a great guy he is. And then he just like drowns his girlfriend, and then he goes and visits his uncle, and he like brings him albums, and it's obvious that his uncle knows he's like murdering his family.
He's alluding to it so hard. He knows. He has to know. Somebody's probably telling him.
And then his uncle is like, you need to remove this kid Tony from your life. And then the way that he does that is by ignoring him.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the only cool things he's done has been like a good uncle to Tony.
Right.
It's like the only reason you like him.
Mm-hmm. He's there when Tony farts. He gets in a great at Tony, which is one of my. I loved that moment. I clapped at that part of the movie.
Yeah,
because it's great. But that's not like. I think that just because it tickles my fancy as a Sopranos fan to watch one of the things I loved about The Sopranos is the dialogue. I think David Chase and the writers' room built such great characters and then just had the most fun writing dumb jokes for those characters to say all the time.
Yeah.
And as much as I enjoyed like still seeing that be possible and having actors who do a good job embodying those characters, Billy Magnuson as Paulie, picture perfect, man.
Yeah.
But like as good as that is, it still doesn't detract from the fact that I still came away from this thinking like it's missing something.
Yeah, I was missing something.
It doesn't get me across the fucking finish line.
I will say one thing that's like I can see what like some of the stuff they were trying to do, like Tony's life. Tony needs a role model.
Yeah,
and I did I did start to care about Dickie because I liked that he cared for Tony, and he did seem to care about people. Like it did bother him. He did not like how his father treated people. He clearly didn't like how he treated his mother, and so like Tony's life is that his mother has like borderline personality disorder or is schizophrenia or something. It's like not capable of processing emotion and life in a way that allows her to like be nurturing.
Yeah.
And then his dad's just gone all the time. And his sister, he has a bad relationship with.
Right.
And then everybody else, and then his like Uncle Junior is like fucking crazy.
Horrible sociopath. Who has a man murdered because he laughed at him for falling and breaking his hip.
No sociopath is that sociopathic. Like that was so over the top. I also will say like it's maybe like I didn't the whole Leslie Odom part, like I will say I'm glad it wasn't only Italians in the movie.
Yeah.
Like good, thank you.
Yeah, me too.
For
I'm happy
putting
about that.
Like for painting a better picture of Newark back then. But like the whole Leslie Odom story did nothing for the movie.
Right.
Except like he's good and it's cool to see a little bit of like the war between Italians and black people in Newark.
Right.
If that was a real thing.
And you get to see a character who frankly I feel better about rooting for.
Yes. Well, that's the other thing. Like I would have loved that movie.
Yeah.
About that.
We need Black Sopranos.
And it was really weird. Like I'm like watching a supporting character during like race riots against the police in Newark, and the city's like burning, and that's not the main story. And I was like, wait, no, go back to that.
It's
what
the
happened?
inciting incident. They never go back to it.
It's the inciting incident for what though? Like I don't even
honestly for nothing else that happens in the rest of the story.
Like
now that I think about it,
it did make
absolutely
me like
nothing.
Dickie more that he was the only one of his terrible friends that was working with black people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like maybe it filled out his character a little more. That maybe that was the point. But that's what was weird. And all these nuggets, like their friendship was cool. And it was kind of interesting how like Leslie Odom wanted to go off on his own, so he had to break away from the Italians, and then they ended up at war, but then they wouldn't kill each other.
Right.
But then they didn't focus on that. And then Junior was the one that killed him. And then at the end, Leslie Odom's like playing catch. And I think the implication is that Tony's going to kill him.
I guess.
But it like woke up this morning, man. And like that's all that happened. They just like played a song. And like, why did it matter? Yeah, like
there's a lot of stuff in this that like in Sopranos mythology, right? There's a lot of stuff that I think this movie serves to sort of build up and explain, but also debunk. Like,
Okay.
I think that clearly, you're supposed to get an understanding of like like I said, why Tony is the way he is, because this is who his role model is. This is who his idol is.
Sure.
But then you also get to see in a way that I think has been done better in other movies, where you see a story that has been told one way for so long, and then you see what actually happens, and it is different. And that's really all it is in this movie. It is not different in like an exciting way. It is different in a way that makes you go like, ah,
yeah.
With the whole, with how Dickie dies, because in The Sopranos, that's how, you know, Tony brings Chris in with this whole other story about like, this is the cop that killed your dad.
Oh yeah.
This is who you're gonna go. This is who I found him. You need to murder him.
Right.
And then you see, oh, it's just because Junior is a fucking wimp.
Right.
A wimp sociopath.
I think like the message they're trying to send, right? Like the tone of The Sopranos is like, I mean, it's never like said outright, or maybe it is, and I'm not remembering. But the conversation around Tony is like he's an unconventional boss.
Mm-hmm.
He's this guy who he was a wild card, and when he was like 14, he like robbed a poker game or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like,
right.
Pissed off everybody.
I totally thought we were going to see that in the movie. By the way,
what the fuck?
What the fuck?
And he like, and the fact that he became a boss like pisses Junior off, and everybody's kind of irritated that this guy who was like off on his own became the boss.
Right.
And so my guess is that what they were trying to do was show that that's what Dickie was. And so Tony modeled himself after this guy. He like Dickie. They did say Dickie wasn't a made man,
right?
But he was around all the time, and he was like doing all this dirty work, and everybody liked him.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't a made man because he was so fucking crazy, and he was off on his own. And so like, I think the story was supposed to be that like there is a formal way that a mafia officer is supposed to work,
right?
And that's what everyone in this organization is trying to be and do, except this one guy.
Yeah.
And now there's this kid, and all he has is this one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then that guy dies, and he can't help himself except become that guy.
Right.
But one of the things they didn't do at all was show the formal thing that was the foil to Dickie.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even show it.
No, not
So
at
he's
all.
just like this crazy guy who's like beating his dad to death, but he's like a good dad basically. And then there's this like kid with this kid who like loves that band Mountain or whatever. Who's Tony? He's like,
yeah,
he like loves Led Zeppelin. And
he loves the Stones. His mom's worried about him doing drugs and smoking pot,
just
like
kinda
Janice.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then that's it. They just like show that.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
And they don't like, yeah. And it's just, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Like, you know what it's like? Did you see, you've seen Donnie Darko, right?
Yeah. I've
Did
seen
you
Donnie
see
Darko.
his next movie, Southland Tales?
Never.
Okay. I love that movie.
I've heard
People hate it.
I've heard it's a movie that is worth watching.
It is so worth watching. And one of the reasons I love it is like, I actually think it's really well made.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a really weird, goofy story. And the guy just like a lot of the things that I say about The Green Knight, you could say about Southland Tales. I just like the choices he made, maybe.
Okay.
Like literally there's like Justin Timberlake plays a guy who's in the army who defends Santa Monica on a gun turret that's on top of a lifeguard tower.
Okay.
And there's this, and all of the people in the army are addicted to this like psycho hallucinogenic drug that they gave them when they were overseas fighting whoever, in order to make them into like super soldiers or whatever. And they're all addicted to it.
Okay. Some
There's-
MK Ultra shit.
yeah, yes, exactly. And there's like literally a scene where, apropos of nothing, Justin Timberlake takes this drug in an arcade, and then the movie becomes a full fucking Killers music video for 3.5 minutes. It's the entire song, and it's just him and other people dancing in this arcade, and none of the rest of the movie is like that.
Okay.
And I do want to stress, I like this movie a lot, but like I think what happened was that this guy had like a thing with Donnie Darko and he made it. And he had like a lot of, he questioned it a lot because he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, sure.
And then everybody loved Donnie Darko and they were like, you're a genius. You have vision. And he was like, okay, I don't have to question myself anymore. And then he made this fucking crazy thing. And I wonder if that's what happened with David Chase.
It could be.
Because I don't know. It's just shocking. It's just shocking how little I liked it in comparison to how much I like and respect The Sopranos.
It is really because I've seen this reaction so much with this movie. Like I've liked it enough. I don't think it's a good. I don't even think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day,
No, it's a bad movie.
I think the only reason I'm even willing to entertain that I like this movie is because I literally just finished watching The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, they did the things.
I think it's also easy for that to happen. Like, did you see El Camino?
Yeah.
I felt similarly about El Camino. I thought El Camino was basically a good movie.
Yeah.
Because it told one story. It like followed a character and told a
Right.
story. But also I think when you're writing you're writing something that's rooted in nostalgia, it's probably like really hard to divorce yourself from it. You know what fucking does it perfectly is Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul is like the best.
I gotta watch more of it.
It's like the best TV show of all time.
I've only watched one season, the first season, which I love.
It's crazy because it starts years before, and he doesn't go by Saul Goodman yet.
Jimmy McGill.
It goes by Jimmy McGill.
Slippin' Jimmy.
And it's just kind of like a drama about this guy's weird life for a while. And it's still great. It's just great. And anyway, what was I? I was saying something about
Better Call Saul.
Many Saints of Newark.
Oh
yeah, it's El Camino. It's just
Camino,
like
yes.
hard to. I don't know. I think El Camino I didn't love, and it was because it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was its own thing.
In terms of movies based off of prestige television, which is better, Many Saints of Newark or El Camino?
Oh, El Camino.
I'm
like way better.
Immediately El Camino.
Yeah, El Camino is a good movie. I just thought that it wasn't a great movie because it was a nostalgia piece.
Right.
It was an Easter egg hunt,
Which is tough because Breaking Bad, I think Breaking Bad, now that we're really talking about it and thinking about it more, the last thing I'll say, Breaking Bad, I think it's a worse television show than The Sopranos because it didn't end at the right spot.
Sure.
It just like, it had a coda, and then El Camino is just a different coda tacked on top of that coda that already existed.
Yes.
You get Jesse's coda instead of Walt's.
They did try to like give you an out.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably one of the things I love about The Sopranos is The Sopranos as a show is like you get in the car, you slam on the gas, and you run straight into a brick wall, and that's the end of the show. And
Exactly. It's fucking Looney Tunes, man.
it's
You're Wile E.
fucking
Coyote
crazy.
smashing into this.
And it's it. And it
Painted
just
on
ends, and you're like, whoa! That's unbelievable.
But Breaking Bad, you're driving the car, and then you drive it off the cliff, and then you're just like, wow, I can't believe I did that. And then you have to sit in the car as it just falls off the cliff.
And then you like see a glimpse of a parachute in the back seat.
Yeah.
That's like stuff like that. Just I don't know. It's funny though. Like I also am. The more I talk about it, the more I realize. I realize I'm on a talk shit about movies and TV podcast.
Of course.
But
This is the nature of the beast.
also, I don't really hate the movie. I don't really hate someone for making something that I don't like. I think that's unfair. I don't want to but I do hate the ending because if something is pretentious and thinks it's badass, fuck you.
Right.
Be yourself, please. Make good things and don't think you're better than people. I just really, man, pinky and also
Don't pinky swear
it's
a dead body at the end of your
pinky
movies.
Swear a dead body, dude. It's so it's just
That's something that would happen in a Michael Bay movie, and it shouldn't have happened in a Sopranos movie.
if it happened in a Michael Bay movie, I might love it because when that type of shit happens in a Michael Bay movie, they fucking really lean into how corny it is.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Michael Bay movies, for as much as they are just fucking popcorn bullshit, they're just pop songs, basically. they have an act 1 and 2 and 3, and they're shot really well, and they're so much fun. And I think that's the other thing, dude. Like, you can't hinge your. You can't think that the TV show you made is so great that you don't need to end the movie. Like, that bothers me so much. Like, even though I do think The Sopranos is one of the best shows of all time, he shouldn't think that. It's a thing he made. You move on. You try to make the next good thing, right? You don't think I'm so great. I'm so great that I don't even have to explain what happens. I just play the fucking theme song, and then everybody sucks my dick, and because that's what happened. Like, so what happens in the movie? They introduce Dickie and Tony, and like the baby voiceover Chris,
Right.
the dead baby voiceover.
They should have at least given him a baby voice if he was going to do voiceover.
It's my daddy.
That's my dad. That's Tony, the guy I went to hell for.
Oh my god, I lost my thread. Oh yeah. So like, so the first act is they set up like Dickie is like a fucking lunatic who takes care of Tony though, and Tony's like having a tough time because he's in high school, and his mom's like fucking nuts, and his dad's not around. Then Act 2 is like. Everything goes crazy. Like, there's not even a solid storyline. I guess, like, they also set up his relationship with Leslie Odom. And so then Leslie Odom wants to go off on his own.
Right.
And that sort of, like, complicates Dickie's life. Tony's having trouble in school. That complicates Dickie's life. He's having trouble with his Gumar.
Yep.
And he kills her.
Yep.
Which complicates his life.
Yep.
And Junior falls on the stairs and he like laughs, and then Junior becomes this like psychopath who wants to kill him for this one tiny thing,
And that complicates his
life. And he is all the while trying to atone for these things in small ways by teaching blind kids to play baseball and giving jazz music to his identical twin uncle. And so that brings us to a place where he's just been trying to atone, and everything is going wrong, and he has not atoned. And then he dies, and then the movie ends. And it's just like, what?
Oh my God.
And the only reason you could justify doing that is if you're like, they know. That's what he thinks. He's like, they know what happens.
Oh my God.
They know what happens.
They know for sure. I'm
Tony
fucking David
kills
Chase.
Leslie Odom. Tony, what are the other things?
Junior does a thing.
Yeah.
Olivia never takes any fucking meds.
Yeah, like
Janice goes and chases around the stones, gets a fucking tongue tattoo on a boob.
yeah. What were the other things I said? It was like his Gumar.
Yeah, his Gumar.
I guess like that. His death sort of wraps that up. But and so I guess really the storyline that they thought was happening was Leslie Odom. And so what I'm supposed to believe, right, is that like what wraps the story up is Tony thinks Leslie Odom killed Dickie.
Right.
And befriends Junior and kills Leslie Odom.
Right.
What was his character's name? I don't remember.
Leslie Odom?
Yeah.
His character's name was Harold McBrayer.
Harold. Okay.
And they called him Hopalong Cassidy a couple times. They did.
Wow.
They said,
Man.
yeah, Dickie Moltisanti goes,
So
Hop
many
along,
characters.
Cassidy, a couple times.
So, and his name was Harold?
His name was Harold McBrayer.
So,
Like Jack from 30 Rock.
Right, okay.
Same family.
Same guy. Yeah. It was played by Jack McBrayer. Well, hey.
I don't like that you put that that socket wrench in my friend's mouth. It sure was weird. It's a weird way to fuck up a tongue.
I'm going to try to make it of my own accord. Yeah, so like in order to wrap up that storyline, you need to show all that.
Yeah.
You need to show Tony wanting to kill Harold and Junior lying and them becoming friends and then conspiring and Junior being worried and him killing him, right? And then he's doing it all for Dickie, right? Or does he not? Am I crazy?
I think the only way we're going to find out about any of this is when we finally watch some more Saints of Newark coming to HBO Max in like 2025.
The Many Saints of Newark. It's also such a shithead name. The Many Saints in Newark.
I don't like bringing up saints and things.
Yeah.
It's too pretentious.
It's so long, too. It's like, and you will know us by the trail of dead, a Sopranos story, which would be a better name.
It would.
Man.
More accurate.
A more accurate name? Yeah, dude. When he killed his Gumar in the ocean, I was like, are there no repercussions for this man?
I guess not. Nobody was on that beach. It didn't look like there's anybody in that entire seaside village that they were at.
Yeah, sure. So, and that's true, but no one in his life was like, hey, where's Giuseppina?
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And then like no one asks again. Who? Oh, hey, whoa, Junior fell down. And they're like, oh, that is funny.
This movie is baffling.
Yeah.
And I am so glad that you took the time to change your movie to talk about this.
Oh yeah, man. The Green Knight still fucking sucks though, dude. Oh my god. You can't just have there be a cum shot with no explanation, dude. You know what I mean?
Dude, and take all that time to make realistic looking cum too.
And non-realistic giants.
Yeah. Priorities are all out of whack with that movie.
The part where I like literally threw my hands up when the camera turned upside down. And I was just like, what is happening? What is this? What is happening?
Oh my God. Dave, it's been a pleasure.
Oh man.
I need to go.
Always
I gotta
a
go
pleasure.
get a burger and go to bed.
Yes, I got to go to bed too. It's 4 a.m.
It's 4 a.m. It's raining. It's storming.
I know. I got to drive back to. I live near the Grove now.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
damn.
Yeah, I live there with David Chase.
We
Yeah,
we flip flopped. I used to live over by the
did
Grove.
you?
Yeah,
man.
Then I
live
moved
over
here.
there. They got a fucking Uniqlo, you know.
they got a
And-
Uniqlo now.
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
shit! I thought they just had that at the Beverly Center.
Yeah, dude. They have a fucking Uniqlo, and there's an AMC theaters you can't drink at, which is insane.
They don't have a MacGuffin's bar. This is bullshit.
They closed the MacGuffins because of COVID, which is so funny. It's just like, if people are getting COVID at the movies, it's not from MacGuffins.
It's not from MacGuffins. It's not because you got a draft beer named after Cary Grant
It's
or
because
some
they're at
bullshit.
the movies during a pandemic.
You mean you didn't put the HEPA filters in the movie theater? Dave, where can listeners find you if they like what you have to say and they want to hear other stuff you have to say?
I'm on all the social medias. I'm at Dave to the Ross, DAVETOTHEROSS. My website's davetotheross.com. And honestly, I don't know. I like I got albums that you can buy or you can stream for free. I have merch. I have a podcast called What's It Called? Links to all that stuff. I don't know. It's funny. Like nowadays, life is so fucked and everyone's having such a hard time and money's so hard to come by. It's harder to promote myself. And I legitimately feel what I would say is if you think I'm funny, please follow me, share. If you feel like you want to buy something, that always helps. But any type of consuming my shit is just really great. And I would say the same for any artist you like, because everything's hard. Including for David Chase, apparently.
Including for David Chase.
I will say this. Maybe
Yeah.
we should cut him a break because he did just go through a pandemic. And like maybe what happened, like, you know, Bo Burnham fucking, you know, had like a garage or whatever, and he's been making movies since he was 8. By the way, everyone's like Inside is like the greatest thing ever. And it is. I love
Inside.
it. It's so good.
great.
But Bo Burnham became a comedian playing keyboard on YouTube alone in his bedroom when he was
Right.
fucking 12. He was designed.
That's true.
He's been in quarantine his whole life.
That's such a great point.
And like, so he knows exactly how to produce a thing on his own. Yeah. And that's not to knock it. He just had a head start. And I don't know, maybe David Chase didn't, man.
As much as I do want to entertain that theory, this film was completely shot with the exception of some reshoots from April to June of 2019.
Wow.
So no pandemic
Why
excuses.
didn't they put it out?
I don't know. They did reshoots in September 2020.
Whoa.
So that's about it.
Huh.
Yeah.
So many things got delayed.
Yeah. This was originally scheduled to be released a year ago.
That's crazy.
September 25th.
They probably, well, okay, so now I know why. They were hoping to get a theatrical release, probably.
Yeah, probably.
And then things just kept getting delayed.
And then they got the fucking HBO
So many
Max.
Marvel movies. I want to see
that
Eternals so bad. Are you a Marvel?
I'm not
MCU
typically a
guy?
Marvel guy. I liked a few of them in the most recent echelon of movies.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Shang-Chi. I hear it's very good.
It is. It's great.
I do love a martial arts movie, and
Yeah.
it sounds like it's just that, but with Marvel stuff. And I got to see Eternals looks cool. I'm intrigued to see a Marvel movie like that.
Yeah, it seems like dark and weird. Yeah,
I love a dark, weird movie.
Me too.
I love a Nomadland movie.
Totally.
That's also a Marvel movie.
I loved Nomadland.
Nomadland's real good.
It. Man, I have like friends who really fucking hated Nomadland.
Well, tell
Did you
them
do
to
a
hit me
Nomadland
up. I haven't
film?
done a Nomadland episode.
I think, you know Ismail Lutfi?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in New York, so he would have to be here.
Oh, I'll Zoom him or something.
Yeah. I think that he hated Nomadland.
Interesting.
Somebody in my life really hated, and he's a great person to have on this kind of show, because if he hates something, he like knows why, and he gets like very upset.
Great.
I love him. He's one of my favorite.
That's how I felt having. Anytime I love this. I mean, look, I'd never talk an hour about a movie with somebody
Oh,
because
great.
you know your shit, Dave.
Hey, thanks, bud.
So thank you for that.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
So fun, dude.
Thanks for doing it. I would say you know where to find me at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram. We've gone long. I'm going to end this podcast like The Sopranos, and we're just going to cut. We're just going to cut to.